Hello everyone, Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. Just gonna do a quick video going over Friday's trading as well as the overall week, how things went, pros and cons to my trading. So to finish Friday, let's start off with the loss that I took. There was WISA. This was out of the watch list. It ended up doing everything I wanted pre-market. Just gapped up. Did retreat a good amount. So I was looking at this thing here for if it can hold around the after hours highs, around 15 or so. Maybe if it gaps up a little bit and it's just failing to break down, we can get a squeeze to 20, 22. This thing pre-market ends up getting to 24, and then here, by the time my software tracks this, it it's down at 19, and from there it just keeps fading. Was looking for a quick bounce, took a good entry, 16.96, and I was up 10%. But I had such small size, I decided to get a little greedy and see if this can really ramp up back to the low 20s. But that did not happen. It had a hard rejection at 19, and 5 minutes later or less, I'm selling for a small loss at 15.61. So percent wise, not ideal of a loss of over our max 5%. But this week I have been pushing that as I've been putting such small size because of the wider risk levels. I've been adjusting with that, so I've been kind of giving it a pass this week. But yeah, we take a small loss here, and this thing just ends up failing for a moment. Looks like it might hold, but there's just no demand. Everything is just low volume or massive selling coming through. Had some bursts of demand come through, but not enough to really squeeze out shorts. And that is unlike COSM, which is where I redeemed myself on the day and went green on the day on Friday. So here we got a former runner, but ultimately this chart goes from top left to bottom right. Okay, it's just fade, fade, fade. It's very safe bet to short against this thing into the pops. It's had some burst, but beside that, excuse me. Besides that, it's a pretty good short. And I think that's what people were thinking in the morning. You got the gap up, the overhead resistance on the daily, as you can see here, just been fading. And what happened was shorts failed to break it down. That's really all it was. It had some resistance here around 4 or so where it topped out in the morning. So that makes sense that we got a quick little burst there. But after that, fade, fade, fade. And what did it do? It continued to hold the previous close as well. It had a fake out breakdown at open price. And at this point, it wasn't even on my radar yet. It was still holding up here around open price, and then it burst back to VWAP. That's when I see it on my scanner, and I am really interested in this thing because earlier in the day I did peek at it, but it didn't look great. I didn't like the overall history of the play. It's just a lot of fade. But after a little bit of time went by and it failed to break down, we have a 1.3 million float. So any bit of demand is going to move this thing as the supply is very low. So what I did was I took a small position here at 382, just 250 shares, and I thought maybe I'll be able to add if it continues to hold here or if it gets back to 4 and confirms the high day, that can lead to a nice squeeze. But chopped around a little bit, didn't really consolidate the way I had in mind, and I missed my opportunity to add. And at that point, it was just pushing higher and higher, and got a little choppy here around, you guessed it, a key area, whole dollar, $half level of 4.5. But for a moment, I was considering of just holding on to my shares as from the high threes, 4-ish. Next key resistance area on the chart is 517-ish. This day right here. So that high was the last time there's a little bit of a perk in demand where there's a top, and I thought it'd be a safe bet for it to get there, but I got a little antsy and sold it right as it was rejecting 460s here and sold it at 455. So pretty good percent gain, just not incredible size. And what happened is it failed to break down. What I wanted happened. It confirmed the high of day. It consolidated on lower volume, showed that it was failing to break down, and I'm pretty sure it got some news of they restructured some deal, updates its agreement to acquire Zip Doctor Inc. And then from there, that led to this whole massive push. So definitely was on the right track. Was grateful that I acknowledged it, played it, and put myself back green on the day. But yet Friday was just another day where last week it was just like the same pattern of last week where I just take small size, I have wider risk, I'm taking small positions and never really adding, whether it's me hesitating or it doesn't really set up the way I had in mind. I just take small gains this week. So let's go over stats real quick. One loss on the week with WISA. So 5 for 6, not too bad. 83% win rate. That's just fun to look at. But as we mentioned last week, you don't need to have a great win to loss ratio to be profitable. It really matters how you size in and cut your losses and let your winners run. So average win 19%, not bad at all considering the only loss I took here on small size was 8%. So that's very good of me to really capitalize on my winners, and that was the pro, capturing bigger parts of the moves. Usually I'm taking about 10, maybe 15%, but recently, because of my small size, I have been letting it run and just trying to read the volume and the chart a little better, let it tell me when to sell. And that's really helped out. So maybe when I get the size back on, I'll be able to sell in pieces and be more patient. And the worst thing that I've done this past week was I was kind of scared to add at some moments where the risk level was kind of wide. I didn't want to ruin my average. In hindsight, the plays ran and I would have had at the end of it a good average, but in the moment, you don't know how it's going to turn out. Not every single play has to work out in your favor. Just because I made 3% right on the week doesn't mean it's going to continue that way. So I just assume going into the play that I'm not making money or I might be wrong, and just let it prove to me that it's going to head higher. So not too bad of a week. Wish it was on bigger size, but overall on the month so far, can't complain. A little over 2,000. Not bad at all. So far this month, on track to make about 50% of my account size. So that's not bad at all. We can do that month over month. That's going to lead to a really good year. But it's really going to come down to cutting losses, managing my size appropriately. But yeah, so 623 on the week, and the average time that I was in a trade was just about 17 and a half minutes. So that one also another stat, just kind of for fun. I don't really see a huge difference in the one that I lost. It was right in there. So it's not like the one that I was taking a loss on, I was in it for hours upon hours, and it's just abnormal compared to my other trades. So don't really see a big difference there in time, but something nice to look at, what I'm able to make. Even small size, 623 on the week, and every day I'm in a trade for less than 18 minutes. That's not bad at all. So I will definitely take that. A little over $100 a day at that time rate, so that's pretty cool. So not important, but just kind of fun to look at. So that's kind of the week. Looking forward to this week, sizing appropriately, really getting the size I'm used to. 3,000. Not. Let's look at the size I've taken this week. So we got 546, 660, 615, 920, 848, 955. So never once has it been over a $1,000 position. Is that the right tab? Yeah. So that's just absolutely incredible. So it will make decent money. But looking to size up if the play's set up right and take advantage of the plays. Just continue what I'm doing this week, but with bigger size. That would be a big week for me. 19%, small time, mostly right, and bigger size. This could easily be 1,500 plus. So, starting to ramble here. Just went over the past week and how things have worked out. The week started off nicely with a good call, Bbby. Looking for that multi-day bounce. Just sticking to our patterns. You got that huge run up. Shorts take over. You get dip buyers coming back as well as shorts locking in profits. So that was a nice little gain, taking it from, I believe it was 360s to 429 or so. That one's just taking a quick move. Doesn't head that much higher, just looking for that quick reversal. And then from there, it was really just most of the plays were fresh. Just gappers that failed to break down, reclaiming open price, VWAP, holding breakout levels. So we'll see what this week provides. Already got something decent brewing up with Box D. This is a nice breakout. Took off after hours. So let's see if it fails to break down, trap shorts, and we could get a nice reversal if it continues to hold this area.